and welcome to a special bulletin of Cricket Predicta brought to you by 1xBet, Vumeki Infrastructures, Delhi NCR. Guess what was the day 3 like for Indian fans? It belonged to India. After piling up a massive 587 runs in the first innings, India bowled out England for 407, gaining a commanding 180 run lead. Well, that was at the stumps. They added 64 for 1, I beg your pardon, in the second innings, stretching the lead to 244. Now, Rahul remained unbeaten on 28, alongside Karun Nair at 7. The only casualty was Yashasvi Jaiswal, who looked firm with his left arm jabs and big hitting. Of course, there was a 51-run opening stance. England's first inning was nothing short of a roller coaster. They began the day at 77 for 3, quickly slumped at 84 for 5. Yes, thanks to the fiery double strike from Siraj in the second over of the day. But when it looked like a collapse, England always knows how to make a fight back. Harry Brook debutant Jamie Smith launched a sensational fight back of 303 runs. Yes, just imagine coming at an almost collapse, then resurrecting at 303. With Brooks scoring a gritty 158 and Smith smashing an unbeaten 184. In the final session, India rode back. Akashdeep broke the mammoth stand, removing Brook. But yes, that's one part of the story. Siraj finished up with 6 wickets while Akashdeep picked up 4. With the healthy 244-run lead and 9 wickets in hand, day 4 seems to be much more promising and even better blockbuster than what we had expected. Joining me are 3 of the famous guests that we have for the series. One of them is John Nyombu. Of course, John Nyombu has played for Zimbabwe, but more importantly, he stays in England, practices the game in England, and he knows a thing or two about this pitch. John, welcome to the show. India leads at 244 runs after posing a 587, ending up with 64 for 1. How significant is the cushion that India has and India can look at building up from here? Your views?
At 64 for 1 and with a 244 run cushion lead, I think the Indian team is backing themselves to come tomorrow and kick on from where they left off. And they could go hard, but hard not playing or not being enticed to play more like a one-day game, but still bat the way similar to what they did in the first innings, because we can see that that is a wicket that has got a lot of runs in it, and you have to get in as a batter and exploit that. We saw how Shubman Gill did it. We saw how Jaiswal did it. We saw how Harry Brook did it. We saw how Smith did it. So at the wicket that they still have to work hard in kicking on to ensure that they do not give the English bowlers a sniff and try and score and put in a score that will test the baseball mantra that says that they do not play for draws. So try and post them a total that will dangle a carrot to say, are you going to play for a draw, or are you going to look to try and win the game, no matter what the situation, no matter how many runs have been posted. That will also play in the Indian team's favor, so that if they do that, then it gives them an opportunity to try and get the wickets and try and get the win and level up the series.
I mean, when you look at the Indian innings, John, it was 84 for 5, and then suddenly you get a 303-run stance. What do you look at? I mean, this is one of the best fight and a comeback in the history of Test crickets, followed by a sudden collapse of 5 wickets in just 20 deliveries. I mean, it's a dramatic fluctuation from the highs to the absolute lows. Have you seen something of this sort in your playing career, and has India got into the thick of things? Your views?
I think the way England batted goes to show how the wicket is. The wicket has got a lot of runs in it, but you have to graft for your runs. I mean, India bowled well to get the first 5 wickets for 84 runs, but then that big partnership between Jamie Smith and Harry Brook showed that if you do dig in, if you do take your time in your manner, because Jamie Smith faced the hat-trick ball and he hit that hat-trick ball for four, not because he played anything out of the ordinary, because he got a half volley and he played a proper cricket shot to get 4 runs, and he managed to get into good positions to score the runs that he did. And same as Harry Brook, they actually batted well, but then when they lost those 2 wickets, the tail was exposed. And the good thing that India did in this inning that they didn't do in the last inning was they cleaned up the tail. They cleaned up the tail and made sure that the tail doesn't wag like it did in the other test, and ensuring that they get a healthy lead going into their second innings back, which is why they got the lead that they've got at the moment, which is why they look like they're having the upper hand, which is why when they start batting tomorrow, they also know that it's a wicket that we have to graft on. It's a wicket that we shouldn't give a wicket away easily, so that we're able to accumulate all those runs to put the team in a very good position and wanting to win the game.
Well, when you look at Siraj, he's taken 3 5-wicket hauls in the second test of the series. There's something about he assesses the conditions and adapts. What did you think and see and feel of Mohammad Siraj when he was running in to bowl, steaming in, bowling those cutters and building it on the pace?
If we're to read much into that stat, it could show that he's a bowler that likes easing his way into a series, hence why his last 3 5-wicket hauls have been in a second test of a series. Or it could be because Bumrah has been doing a lot of the hard work, and maybe in this test Siraj has taken that Bumrah role to be the leader, hence he's taken this 5-wicket haul in this test to actually put India in the driving seat. But I would like to think him being a seasoned campaigner, him being an experienced all-format bowler, would like that stat not to dangle upon him, because it might mean that he's a slow starter. It might mean that it takes a little bit of time to get grooving, to get going. So I think going forward, he would like to begin well a series and possibly get the wickets in the first test and the second test, because it goes to show that you'll need a lot of momentum. So if he does perform well in the first test, which means he'll be on the rise as the series goes on, and it also lifts the burden of Jasprit, so that Jasprit can also bowl, not thinking that he's got the team solely on his shoulders, and guys like Siraj can put in performances. But well bowled in this last inning for his 6 for. It was good to see him running in. It was good to see him bowling full when he needed to. It was good to see him bowling a bit back of a length when he needed to. That's how we got the Ben Stokes wicket with a ripping Jeffer from back of a length that just kicked. So that's the bowler that he is, and I think he can be a little bit more consistent, especially in the test side of things, where he can pitch the ball up a little bit more, especially when it's new, and then look to swing the ball more. But you can see that when the ball gets a bit older, that's when he's at his best, when he's pitching the ball a little bit shorter, hitting the length, being aggressive. But he's bowled well in this last inning, and it's well done to him for taking up that leadership role when Jasprit is not available.
Well, when you look at Yashasvi Jaiswal's career, he comes across as a completely Destiny's child. I mean, he's equal Dravid and Sehwag as the joint fastest Indian to score 2,000 test runs in 40 innings. But how do you evaluate his temperament? Because he's high on the pedal, attacks every ball, and he completely is trying to rewrite the norms of test opening batting. Your views?
I think if we're to compare Jaiswal to Dravid and Sehwag, I would like to think he's both of them in one, because when he needs to play the Sehwag kind of inning, and he has to hit. He hits, but he hits sensibly, exactly like how the great Virender Sehwag used to do it. But then also, he's got a very sound defense, the way Rahul Dravid had. So he's the modern day cricketer who's not afraid to play a little bit more of shots in the test match to get the runs. But then also, even though he's a modern day cricketer who loves bat on ball, who loves scoring a little bit quickly, but when the need arises and the situation needs him to buckle down and have a good defense and play normal test cricket, like normal old school test cricket, is able to do that. So that is how he is. That is how the modern cricketer is at the moment. That is how entertaining they are, entertaining in their own way, entertaining in being able to hit when need be, entertaining in being able to buckle down when he needs to. So that's the beauty of how sport evolves. Sport evolves in certain way. Every sport has got a way of evolving to ensure that it is very relevant at that point in time. And Jaiswal is epitomizing that we need to score runs. We need Test cricket to be a little bit more exciting, but playing in the confines of how traditional Test cricket is or was normally played. Same with the way the baseball is going now. It has found a balance of not just going out there to slog, not just going out there to play willy-nilly shots, but to still have a bit of responsibility within themselves as the modern day cricketers to be able to entertain us but still play test cricket the way it should be played.
Well, some trivia and stats, John. Under Virat Kohli, India has conceded only 250 runs partnership in the 68 test. Since then, they have 7 in 64 test. Yes. Is this a sign of changing tactics, or has India lost a bit of control in the field post-Kohli era?
I don't think it's got anything to do with Virat Kohli having been captain and other captains coming in and playing a certain way, and that stat saying under Virat Kohli they didn't concede so many runs. I think it's just the mere fact that Test cricket is evolving, and it's evolving in a way that it still wants to entertain the spectators, because Test cricket is in danger of falling out, if we may put it that way, to the white ball cricket, the 50 overs, the T20s, the IPLs, the T10s, and if you come to the UK, the 100. So I think it only means that, one, the wickets are becoming better to bat on, as in the teams are actually preparing good batting wickets that has got plenty runs in them, and also that the modern day cricketer is not afraid to take calculated risks to be able to score and score at a high rate. And you'll find that back in the days, as a bowler, if you went at 3 runs and over in a test match, you'd be deemed to have been expensive. But nowadays, if a bowler goes for 4s, normally they say they've done a good job. The field sets are changing, in and out fields are coming up, whereas traditionally Test cricket would field up, hit over the top, play very circumspect, play time. But now they're being able to play time, but playing time and still scoring. So it's just a matter of fact that Test cricket is evolving, that batters are scoring more runs, that the wickets and the pitches are becoming better, and it's just entertaining. So,
well, thank you, John. Thank you for taking out your time. You are enjoying the summer of cricket in England. Now we move on to Tos Rizvi. Tos Rizvi, of course, is one of the best journalists that you could get in the cricketing world, straight from the Maidans of Mumbai. Tos, welcome to the show. Spinners took just 4 wickets in 75 overs, while the Pacers claimed 20 in 242 overs. Do you think the spin impact of the day has been slightly coming down? Your views?
See, I think the number of overs that spinners bowled are equally what the fast bowlers have. I mean, just look at the numbers of 45 overs that Shoaib Bashir bowled, and he got just three wickets with 160 and gave away 167 runs. While compared to the fast bowlers, I mean, Indian bowlers, spinners lacked impact the way Shoaib Bashir may have got, because the number of overs that he's bowled. But again, it's fast bowlers. You're playing in England, right? You're playing in conditions where the wind has an important role to play. So hence the fast bowlers come into effect. I mean, you could look at the second innings where Indians bowled their heart out, especially Akashdeep and Mohammad Siraj. Obviously, they shared 10 wickets between themselves, and one of the reasons why there was a major collapse, apart from the partnership between Harry Brook and Jamie Spitt. I mean, the England batters were found struggling against the Pacers the Pacers, Akash and Mohammad Siraj, and the way Mohammad Siraj bowled. I mean, I wish only if he was consistent enough. Otherwise, that the game that they had played in the first half, the match that they had lost, it would have been in India's pocket. I mean, they had Jasprit Bumrah, right? So at the end, it's England is a country for fast bowlers, especially swing bowlers. If you bowl rightly in the right areas, definitely you'll be successful. And we saw exactly what Mohammad Siraj and Akashdeep did. Definitely, you have to be very disciplined in your approach. Hence, you'll see a lot of fast bowlers coming in. I mean, while finger spinners, unless you give that air to the ball, or you put in a lot of effort in your revolutions, you won't find any success. But then it's fast bowlers. Say it's a wicket for fast bowlers. The conditions are for fast bowlers. So somewhere or the other, you will see fast bowlers dominating the matches throughout.
Well, when you look at the pace bowlers, they've delivered nearly 75% of the total overs. Yes, out of the 242 overs bowled, spin has accounted only 25%. Very interesting. Does this imbalance highlight the conditions of heavily favoring the swing, seam, pace on the deck, or the lack of it? What is your understanding of the entire thing? The lower order fragility and India's ability to bounce back has been restored. Your views?
It's nothing new. I mean, playing in England and then you're not playing seamers, you're depending on spinners. I mean, obviously India wouldn't do it. The captains have been smart enough over the time. I mean, it's not new. Spinners won't have a really big say when it comes to bowling in these conditions, especially England, where the winds help seamers, the swing bowlers, and especially when you're playing with a Duke ball, which helps fast bowlers a lot. I mean, it's not SG where you get a strong grip, where you can turn the ball even on a cement, but then it's Duke ball at the end of the day. Also, the overcast conditions help. Also, even if it's sunny, fast bowlers have a lot of sway because the ball pitches up and it just skids like anything. So somewhere or the other, Indians knows they have Indians team management knows they have to depend heavily on their spacers, and especially they have good talent, right? I mean, you saw what Jasprit Bumrah did in the first test match, but second test match you replaced him with Akashdeep, and Akashdeep delivered with 4 wickets. He deserves all the credit for being very disciplined, and one of his strengths has been being disciplined. Apart from that, we know what magic can Mohammad Siraj can create in any kind of situation. Whether if the opposition team is dominating, he can do wonders. Just that he needs consistency, and that is why you call it magic, because magic doesn't come consistently. Then hence you will see Siraj perform in different stages of the game, not consistently, or bowling a good line. So somewhere or the other, I think the weak point has been Prasidh Krishna, and that is where they have lacked. That's why they have to depend on Washington Sundar or Ravindra Jadeja. Otherwise, if we had a better pacer and better than Krishna, I think we would have been dominating more. Why not Arshdeep Singh? So it's not surprising that the Indian team management has been preferring seamers over spinners. But then if you see the number of overs that spinners have been very, very effective. 15 Jadeja, 14 Washington Sundar, means that these guys also try to rely on their spinners, but they have been unsuccessful. Obviously, you see Shoaib Bashir who got a 3 wicket, or a Joe Root who got 1 wicket in 5 overs. I mean, yeah, it's been the number of spells the number of overs that the Indians have batted. One of the reasons why they have been should have got 3 wickets. Here they have been cautious enough against spinners, and also you need to be very artistic. That artistry is not been able. We are not able to witness from our spinners. Somewhere or the other, we are lacking a quality spinner like a Kuldeep Yadav, which we will definitely miss. The reason Kuldeep not playing is too deep in the Indian batting lineup, which could see collapse. I mean, they still don't have the trust on their batters, even though we have been so consistent in both the test matches when it comes to batting. It's the bowling that we have lacked. So somewhere we have to stand up, we have to take a bold decision, get on a Kuldeep Yadav in the third test match. But for now, I think we'll have to depend on the two seamers rather than three bowlers. Mohammad Siraj and Akashdeep again in the second innings, if only India builds a strong total.
Well, from 387 for 5 to 407 all out, England lost their 5 wickets on paltry 20 runs. I mean, what does this dramatic collapse, I mean, what do you think of it? When you come into bat 303 runs and suddenly within the span of 20 overs, you just lose the wickets like a pack of cards. Your views?
Nothing much. It's a brand of wicket cricket that they play, right? Baseball, the entertainment that they give, that they want to give, the intent that they want to show, the approach that they have towards playing Test cricket is one of the reasons why you will see major collapse, and is also one of the reasons why you'll see such a big partnership between a Jamie Smith or a Harry Brook, because they play entertaining cricket. And you will see, I mean, you saw exactly the first 5 wickets how they collapsed, the top order collapsed before there was a rescue act from a Jamie Smith and a Harry Brook, and a bigger one which narrowed the lead margin for India, and which created a lot of trouble for the opposition, that is India, and the bowlers. Somewhere or the other, I think you will see a lot of trend like that, and that is where Team India has to snatch it, capture it. England will keep on playing entertaining baseball cricket, and this is what they will be relying on. And they have the ability, they have the batters who will play with that attacking approach. Hence, India will have to seize that moment where England are attacking and get the fielders at the right place, bowl the right areas. This is where they can work on their strengths. This is what their strength is. They can work on their strengths and get a victory, level the series, because the moment you have seen there is a major top order collapse and there is a lower order collapse within just 20 runs, somewhere or the other you have to keep on breaking the partnership. You have to be very smart, be on the toes throughout. Don't be relaxed, don't think that you have a big total in hand, just get them out quickly. It's easier said than done, but you have to be on the toes throughout, be consistent in your line. This is the approach that England is having will help Team India get a win and level the series. So yeah, the major collapses that you will see in the lower order, the top order, or maybe a partnership, could be one of the reasons why Team England approach, they have lost a lot of wickets. It's the approach at the end of the day.
Well, when you have a dramatic collapse like what England has gone through, we've just discussed about 5 wickets in 20 runs. Does it talk about the baseball mentality when you go in, attack, add, look at runs and then come back? But in the meanwhile, you also tend to lose out on wickets in cluster, and that's what is your Achilles heel. Do you think they're swinging between the baseball and the Achilles heel?
No, again, I don't think so. It's about the pressure. As I told you earlier, it's more about the approach, it's the intent that they have, the attacking style of cricket, the brand of cricket that they play is baseball, which we all know. We have been talking about it, and that is what you will see. Either you will see a big partnership, what we saw exactly presented by England batsman Harry Brook and Jamie Smith, and then you saw a major collapse within 20 runs. Somewhere or the other, you will see this kind of cricket being played, which is good, which is in favor of Team India. Of course, it helps spectators be on the toes throughout, on the edge of the seat. But then somewhere or the other, England may not change the approach, because we saw exactly in the first innings, they played the same kind of first match. They played the same kind of innings and had their match in the game in their pockets, the match in their pockets. Again, in the second inning, in the second match, in the first inning, you saw the major collapse in the at the initial stage before a partnership from these two guys, and followed by another collapse. Somewhere or the other, you will keep witnessing this kind of this brand of cricket, because that's how they play. That's how they want to enjoy the game. That's how they want to keep entertain the crowd, and this is what will help Team India get an advantage. I mean, they have to just be on the toes throughout, be disciplined, bold with a lot of heart. There will be times where you will concede a lot of runs, you will leak a lot of runs, but there will be times where you can trigger a collapse and seize that moment, seize that partnership. Don't let them stay relaxed. Don't let the runs come easy for them. That way you can level up the series. It's simple. It's not pressure for them. It's just that they are playing the kind of cricket that they want to play, that is baseball.
Thank you, Tos. Now I'm joined by Sharandeep Singh, the former Indian player and also the coach and the current coach, and of course he was very active with the Delhi Premier League, but more importantly he's working very closely as the national selector. He's worked for India and he's working very closely as a coach at the National Cricket Academy. Welcome to the show, Sharandeep. Across 3 days, 11 wickets fell in the third session, 10 of them to the pace. Does this trend, you as a spinner, does this trend suggest fatigue, fading light, or scoreboard pressure that we are working in today's game? That late in the day there is always going to be some drama, some action, some wickets falling. Your views?
We talk about third day that England, both overnight batters, they played beautifully and they scored a brilliant hundreds. Especially we talk about Harry Brooks, the way he's in form, batting beautifully. Smith beautifully batted with him, contributed crucial runs, 300 runs partnership, and suddenly looks like that match is again going towards the England's corridor. But the way Indian fast bowlers, the way with the new ball they come back, especially if you talk about Akashdeep, he hasn't played in the first test match, second test match he come back into the team, and the way he's performing, he's really looking very, very aggressive with Mohammad Siraj, and both bowl beautifully and get the big lead for India.
Well, this question is about Mohammad Siraj. We want to ask you, what is going to be in his mindset, considering that he's been bowling at a high speed? He's got the 5-wicket hauls, whether it's in Australia, South Africa, England, and maybe Australia as well. So when you look at his mindset, he seems to understand the game. He seems to go in at the little emergency that he can find his way in, and he suddenly dashes in. Do you think there's a mindset change in Siraj as compared to what he was in the first test? Your views?
And he's a good boy, he's a good learner of the game. He had a few bad games, but that's the way I said, he's a good learner. Every good learner have a few bad games also. The only good thing is that Mohammad Siraj always give his 100% all the time. He's keep going back. When you give him a ball, you always look for the wickets. You always go for the getting the batsman out. And the way that approach of Mohammad Siraj we've seen in yesterday also. The way in the last sessions with the new ball, he come back and take all the England tailenders out. Got his fifer, give him a boost, give him a confidence. Give confidence to the management, to the captain also, that our bowlers are ready in this test match. They are going to win this test match for us. And hopefully see in the fourth day, Indian batters are batting, get a good lead and put England into before the day ended. And let's have a good session today.
Well, there you had it. You had three of the best voices of the game talking about one of the most interesting part of the India-England series. Yes, this is the second test. The show is called Cricket Predicta.